Rufus, gracias por venir. Buenos días. Good morning.
Good morning. Where I grew up, Shakespeare was very important culturally, and so I was exposed to him a lot as a kid. Uh, I had the same reaction a lot of times where I'm a lot early on where I would just be like, what am I doing here? I don't understand anything, and this is boring. But then other times you go and there's just this connection that happens mystically with his language, that and then you understand everything. It's yeah, it's mystical. Yeah, well, it started over 10 years ago, because the sonnet "When in Disgrace with Fortune in Men's Eyes," the one that Florence Welch sings on the album, that I wrote a long time ago for a friend of mine named Michael Kamen, who's sadly no longer with us. He was a famous film composer, and that was for a benefit for RADA, for the Royal Academy of Dramatic Arts. So it started with that many years ago, and then came the Berlin Ensemble and Robert Wilson, and then after that the San Francisco Symphony wanted me to arrange some of the songs for a classical sort of setting, and yeah, here we are today. So it's been a long time. It's been 400 years. Well, I don't know. My approach to this in general is not an intellectual one, nor a scholarly approach. I mean, I didn't study him in college or anything, so I don't really know. But I will say that there's a kind of seductive quality that he's that permeates the sonnets, and it is about both a man and a woman, and the subject. So it's kind of it's in there. You feel it,
Yeah.
and that's about all I can say, because I feel like if you say, "Oh yeah, he was gay, or he was bisexual, he was straight,"
Yeah.
it's who knows. I sadly I hate to talk about Trump because everybody talks about him, and it sort of gives them more attention and everything. But I will say that if he does, it looks like he's going to get the nomination, and if that's the case, it's a matter of human rights, environmental protection, anti-war movement, to sort of not to go against Trump. I think it's very dangerous, and Cruz. I think all the Republicans are very dangerous, but and I do appreciate Hillary. I'm actually a Hillary fan, so there's a lot of work to do coming up. Well, I mean, my mother definitely kind of brought both my sister and I up very, very musically. I mean, the music was constant force within the household. And my mother. It's interesting because I always took it for granted, her insistence, but and I remember, every time we'd go to a dinner party, or every time we would be at even at a bar and there was a piano there, I knew at a certain point she would get on that piano and start playing it, and we'd have to sing. Like, it was all the time, and I always thought that was. Even to the point where it was a little annoying. But of course, what's fascinating is that now she passed away. Kate McGarrigle, she passed away, and I'm realizing how special that was. That was really unique for someone to be that musically driven all the time. So yes, our mother, my sister and my mother were the big. She was the big influence. But my dad, what most impresses me about him still is his work ethic. He has this very kind of Protestant make a living. So I learned about a lot from both, but really my mother was the driving force. No, I mean, I actually I have to be honest. I mean, I have the perfect situation in terms of an artist. I mean, yes, it'd be great to be playing stadiums and making millions of dollars, but really, I think where I am right now is that I get paid very, very well for what I do, very, very well, and I play the most beautiful theaters in the world. I'll be playing the Teatro Real
Correct. Yeah.
in the summer, and I've done Covent Garden. I've played, Carnegie Hall. So it's sort of right where I am is that sweet spot. Oftentimes, if you're a little more successful, then you end up playing, sheds as they're called in the United States, or hockey rinks,
Yeah, or music libraries.
and stuff like that. So it's not. I don't know. I think it's a good little place where I am. Yeah, no, I'd love to make a pop record. Actually, to be honest, I mean, I loved doing prima donna. I love doing the sonnets. I love working on this new opera. But I need, I am more hungry for pop music now.
Pop music.
Yeah, just to get out there and see what the kids are up to. No, I'm excited actually to write songs all the time. So I have a lot of material. I haven't been in the studio yet.